Alright, let me see if this works. Good morning, good evening and good night. And I'll quickly check if we're online or not. Yeah, there we go. Alright, welcome to another streaming video. Per usual, I'm still here with my morning coffee. On today's workbench, I completed all the parts of Jean Grey. Only to discover I made a mistake, because over here I made a piece for her hand, and obviously that's part of her suit, so that's not supposed to get a thin skin hue. So that's a piece I have to do over. And over here I prepared the painting area, like in this setting, because last time I felt it was a bit a small space. So I given it a little bit more room so we can work I think in a little bit nicer environment, and I can show you better what we're gonna do today. So thank you for watching, thank you for joining, and well, so far it's going quite well. I mean, it's working. Like every week we're gonna do a stream, and so far this is episode 4 of the Jean Grey, so that makes, I don't know, like an 8 in total, which is perfect. So I'll just have one more sip. I'll let you have a look at Jean herself, so as far as we are right now. And today we're gonna paint all the details in black, so the lines of the hair, her suit. I'm thinking about fusing this on top of the blue, because behind the X mark there will be the hang your glass system. So I was figuring out a way of how to make that a very nice and strong connection. So I think this might do the trick. And then we'll just leave all the cloud parts, and when we've painted it all and reassembled it, then we can check whether or not we want to still paint something on the transparent background parts or not. Yeah, so I'm quite excited. We're nearing the end, and it took me way too long. When Jean Grey is finished, then we're gonna move on with more pieces, and we're gonna pick up the pace, because well, it needs to be finished at the end of September, and there are still 10 heroes we will produce by then. So yeah, I'm also thinking about maybe doing these live streams twice a week now, because we really need to pick up the pace in production, and there's just so much to show and to share while we're doing this. So yeah, I hope I can start streaming twice a week from this week on, because yeah, once it's painted, then of course we need to solder it together as well and use the copper foil. So alright, so that's for today. Moving on. This is the painting area right now. There is one here, and I have a second one here, so we can position the pieces once they're painted here, so you can still have a look at them. This gives a nice overview. I can blend the paint here. I just need to make sure that all the tech stuff is out of harm's way. We really want to keep them clean, and I'm hoping I connected my mic in a good order. So you're hearing me close by, even though I'm a bit further away from any of those 3 cameras. So without further ado, let's dive in. It took me long enough to get started, so thank you for your patience, and let's go. So, first things first, I really want to make sure that when the glass is laying on top of this, that I have enough contrast. So for some parts I know that will be just fine. Over here with the fingers I might end up struggling, which we don't want. I'm not sure, but maybe I can also turn up the volume of the light a little bit, so we can see more. But like also over here, like all these lines that are in her suit, it's very important that they are well visible later on. I like to show this as well. Yeah. And there we have her key bones. Muscles from the neck. And then of course so I'm kind of butchering the image right now, but it's mainly because I really want to. This we do later because this is an area I made a mistake in. But yeah, I really want to have like some guidance when painting. Just a little bit, so I can check where I am while painting. Alright, I think both we could start here. This is also quite important, and then the X will do on a separate red piece of glass, and I've not decided yet which one, so we can take a look at that also. And I'm thinking, just like the Wolverine, we'll do like a cartoon crosshair kind of look and feel. Applying some lines and some shading as well. Like here, clearly some shading going on. Okay, so I kind of butchered this image of Jean Grey, but it's means to an end, right? So, alright. Sorry, a little bit more. Okay. So I'm not really sure about this part yet, but for now let's continue. Okay, so just one final sip of coffee, and then I have to get rid of it. It's really good advice to wear gloves when you're working with paint, maybe even a mask, and never ever drink or eat while you're painting. So it's all rather what's the word? Well, it's not really healthy. So so I would recommend drink and eat first before you start, and then after, when you finish and you've washed your hands, because it's gonna get messy. I'll get my apron, and then we're good to go. So meanwhile, we've prepared the drawing for a little bit, giving it some accents, so we are not lost in the drawing when we put the glass on top of it. And I suggest we ease in a little bit with painting some parts of the shoulder and the bodice, and then we move on to the big part, which is her hair and her face. So those are just a few pieces, but they're quite important. So yeah, so let's do that first. Meanwhile, I'm getting my apron. Yeah, perfect. Alright, so no more coffee. And we can start painting. So, I hope you you agree with me. This is for the video. This is a better setup to show you around and to show you what we're going to do with the paint. Yeah, all right. This is one of my first superheroes I made with painting on glass. It was a very nice experience, and I really like the result still. And it even went to a few art fairs, so that's really awesome. So this is the paint from Royce. I just applied a little bit here. As you can see, it's still just a powder. And then we need a little bit become Arabic going into the mix. And like in last video, I explained a little bit about the basics of painting, right? So the grisaille and the contour. And for now we will start with just the contour. And you can do both at the same time. But because I am not sure yet on how intense I want the contour to be, I want to start with the lines first and see when they are fired if those are enough or if we still want more. So I'm taking a bit of a cautious route. Maybe with future projects like within the 12 we're making, I will grow a little bit more in confidence, so I can show you in somewhere later on how to address both techniques in one firing. But for now, let's just zoom in on getting the contour in. First, we have to make sure the paint is properly made. If you haven't watched the previous video yet, later on I think I can weave in a card or something. YouTube allows to click on it so you can see that video too. So if you're watching this video now and you haven't watched the other one before, you can click either, I don't know, you could either click left or right. For me, I'm not sure where I will place it yet. That's something I still have to learn. But I saw you can move to another video from another video. So if you want to check out the basics about me explaining about the grisaille and the contour, then check out this video. And else you can just continue watching here, of course. But yeah, in the previous video I've explained a little bit more about the basics of the contour and the grisaille. And right here, right now, we are moving on to the contour. Okay, I think the paint is, for now, is alright. Moving my batcher. So, and last time I've showed you two kinds of brushes, and the one that's like a slaper. It's for the line work. And then the other one that's also for line work, but more traditionally. And I'm not sure if the origin is from painting Dutch blue tiles, but that's where I know it from. So that's maybe something, a statement I made in a previous video, which might not entirely be true, but that's where I know it from. And it has like this reservoir. Let me show you here. Sorry. So 2 brushes. So this is like a regular one for creating nice and even lines. And then this is a traditional one. I am familiar with this one from the Dutch tile heritage. And it has a reservoir around the longer hair. So they both should allow to catch enough paint to be able to create longer lines. And that's something you really want, because if your lines are looking like this, then you kind of miss something very important, which is that it's very nice if your lines are nice and smooth and they flow and they continue and you have a steady hand and so on and so forth. So which is why you want tracers or pencils which allow you to build up enough paint in them so you can continue your lines. A bit fake here, but I hope you understand. So that's really important, at least it is to me. I recommend, if you are thinking about starting painting on glass, to I don't know, find someone local who you can do a class with, or watch his videos. Maybe I can zoom in on the subject a little bit more also here on YouTube, to be a little bit of help and assistance in your process of starting to paint on glass. Obviously, if you want to do it right, you need the paint preferably from one of a few brands, one of them being Royce, which we're using right now. There are more brands. I will tell you more about that in a new video. And a kiln. That's really something you need. So in this video I can show you the one I have right now. It's very important because this paint will only be well applied to the glass once it's really baked in at high temperatures. And this is the most traditional way of painting on glass. For me this is like the only way. I've seen more brands creating more kinds of glass paint, but it's never really like this. So again, that's just an opinion. If you have another one, please leave me a comment. I'm happy to start a discussion about this. Meanwhile, I'm looking for some paper towels to get rid of the paint here, so we can actually move on to this piece. Alright. Okay, I see the light box is giving some, I don't know, not a very comfortable look. So let me switch to another view, because there's, I don't know, it's the LED light, I think, that's causing some issues. So, I'm painting on the back side of the glass. That's something I did not mention previously. So the image you just saw me drawing on is mirrored. Or did I just mirror it here? Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I just made a mistake. I should draw on this side. The image we're going to paint on is mirrored, so we actually paint on the back side of the glass. The reason why I do this right now is I like to blend the colors of the glass with the paint I'm using. So when you look at it when it's made, then the shadow on the glass and the lines on the glass, they look in this particular piece to be blue or darker blue. And also I really like to have the same glimmer or the same texture on all glass, painted or not painted. So I'm painting on the back side of the glass, so up front all the parts look the same, with or without paint. I'm not sure how everyone in stained glass does this. It always feels like to be the most awkward question, like on which side of the glass do you actually paint? So for this topic as well, if you have an opinion about it or experience, please fill me in. And I always feel a bit awkward to ask this question. I've done it a few times and then people answer like, yeah, but you know which side you have to paint, right? So, I mean, isn't it obvious? Well, it might not be as obvious as we think it is, so, or maybe it is, so please let me know, fill me in. And meanwhile, we're just getting started, adding some nice lines. I'm not sure what temperatures you're having right now where you are, but over here it's really warm. So if my gloves look a bit moist, then it's just me brushing off some paint from my forehead. It's really warm in here. So first piece is down. And I'm really happy I made the setup because now I can show you the paint. I can show you the pieces that are already painted on, the ones that will receive more paint. So yeah, all in all, good choice. Let's remember this for future reference because this is a perfect setup to show you more about painting on glass. What I also like about this brush is that it's really, this sounds stupid, but it's really brushy. So it's not like a fine liner or a marker. So the lines are not even. And I can use that to my advantage. I can make lines a bit thicker or smaller as we go. I really like that about this particular brush. And I feel that we should add the lines of her ribcage here. Yeah, better. Okay, moving on to her chest. So switching cameras here because sometimes you don't see me put on a new piece of glass right away. That's because I'm brushing them over, cleaning them a little bit before I place them here, because they're still a bit dusty from sanding down and shaping the parts. Okay. So the paint is gonna dry a bit quicker, I think, than usual, so chances are you'll see me working the paint a bit more often than last time, although last time it was also already quite warm. This is also always very nice. If you move in from two directions and they line up well, they match. So last time I showed you, I'll show you with this piece later on again. If you're not really happy with how the lines are, then you can always get back to them later. Once they're dry, you can just use something like the back side of the brush, or a toothpick or something else to get rid of parts of the lines you don't like. For now, let's just continue with this. As you can see, I only marked a few of the lines. As I told you a little bit earlier, I will try to fuse on or glue on a fused bit from this part. So I'm only painting some kind of the crest that's around it, and I'm applying this line double because I want it to be well visible. This is like the center part of her, so this is what will draw quite some attention. Okay, and this will gonna smoothen a little bit later on. Okay, so now things are starting to come together. I think we will definitely also need some grease eyes as well. So that's good to know, to find out. Because it's a little bit too flat as it is right now. But like I said earlier in the video, we're just gonna start with the contour and then add all the grease eyes in a second painting session. So I have time to evaluate and to readjust where needed. This actually shows you things are not as precise as they could be, or as you sometimes intend them to be. I've posted some images already on my Instagram, and I noticed people were like, "Oh, this is so precise," and I was like, "Nah, yeah, it looks like that, but from close by, and especially backlit, so you can see all the light going through, it's not entirely that precise. I mean, of course I've tried my best, and it is within reach of being, it's quite precise. Let's phrase it like that. Like, I really like to make the pieces fit as well as I can, but I always see some space for improvement. But I think that's the joy about this, about I think also this project. I think the people from Oceanside will agree with me. Like, it's this, I don't know, it's about the growth, it's about the process you're on, about the route, the route, like this as well. Me thinking, I can do this better, or it's not as precise as I want it to be, is like a sign of growth, I guess. It's all about that. I think it's with every craft. You just want to grow and become better. And that's this project for me, really. It's a really great opportunity. So Oceanside is giving me really a great opportunity to improve me on my art and to challenge me, or allow me to challenge myself in, well, right now in adding paint to a project on this scale, even to consider creating not 1 but 12 euros. That's just, yeah, that's just insane, really, in a good way, in a really good way, because I'm really having a blast. It's just wonderful. And we had a small meeting last week, and they were all excited about the Wolverine that's already made, and so yeah, that's just really wonderful to share the passion, you know. And also, I am lucky enough to have received the next rec pack. So I think tomorrow we'll do another video about unpacking another rec pack. So that's going to be wonderful. Oh, another card. If you haven't seen that video yet, then later on you can click on this this card, and then you will be taken to the first video of unpacking a rec pack. And then, of course, we'll also have another video about applying the grisaille to this to Jean Grey, and hopefully look a bit forward towards the next build, because after Jean Grey we'll continue with 10 more superheroes. So that's something nice we're gonna check out as well. Yeah, nice. Her shoulder part, let's go on. Let's continue with this one. It's called a pauldron. I don't know. I've played many RPGs, and it's always part of an armor set. In a way, this suit is like an armor set. It's a bit sci-fi, but it's just another armor set, which I like very much. I like that about the people that do cosplay as well, the enormous creativity they have in realizing, like kind of materializing all those 3D digital designs of armor, and they just really make it real. That's so wonderful. And especially when there are suits involved, I really like to watch them. So far so good. It's a bit, well, meager. I don't know if that does it justice, but it's a bit basic. Let's call it basic for now. I really enjoy that the lines can continue within the parts, so that's something definitely nice going on. And the way the lines here are thinner than over there, that's really cool. But yeah, it definitely needs a little bit more shading. So I guess you're in for another video soon, really soon, because this one needs to be finished well, in a few days. So yeah. So also, if you want, leave me a comment if you want to also see more about foiling, especially pieces like this or not. You can always leave me a comment in these videos asking me to, I don't know, address one topic or another. But please leave me a comment if there's a question you have, or if there's something you want to know more about, because with these comments they are a reference for me to know more about what you are in need of or how I can assist. Alright, so sorry, I wanted to start already, but this is like maybe the most iconic part of the entire build here. This took me ages to send down, so let's appreciate that for a little while. And there we go. So here we have her other shoulder part and her arm. So this is one of the few pieces I really don't want to do over again, so this one has to be exactly right. I'm really not looking forward to create more of these parts. Which means that Jean Grey will definitely be a unique piece, because this one was really tough. Especially because I kind of went nuts with the design, and I really created a problem for myself on how to actually really make it, produce it. So I became a bit scared of being grey during this process. And it really challenged me to think of well, yeah, how to overcome these challenges. For instance, the hand that's shown within this, well, let's call it a zap. There we go. Quite nice, quite nice. And again, this proves that we really need some shading, because then we can make the hand stand out more from the rest. But so far, it's looking rather good. Yep. I just noticed that this little finger here is really, really wide. So that's something we are gonna address right away. Like this, because that just annoys me so much. Having one fat finger. Sorry for the noise. Alright, that's better. Okay, let's leave it for now like this. So, quite some progress already. I'm just checking the time. Yeah, we can still continue this video for a little bit before it takes too long. That's also something I really want to make sure of, that you're not watching at an endless video regarding this topic. So again, last round. Leave a comment if you want to know more about something. Please do. Let's do our hair part and her face, and then sorry, it's switching cameras. So we're just gonna paint her hair and her face, and then I'm sure we'll have covered enough about the contour in this video. And then I'll be sure to be online, I don't know, ASAP again, to show you the results of the first firing and to continue working on the shadow part, the grisaille. Alright, let's continue with her hair right now. Okay, so this is going to be a bit difficult. As you can see, let me see if I can brighten up the panel here. As you can see, her hair has a very dark reddish hue. It's almost brownish, and this in combination with some shades on the print is gonna look a bit difficult. So let's see what we can do. We mainly want to add some lines here to amplify the suggestion of how her hair flows. Let's add some nice flowing lines to her hair. Yeah. This really does remind me of Disney's Ariel, right? The red flowing hair. So nice. So nice, so nice. Alright. So what just happened here, as you can see, can you see? Not that much, not well I guess. Maybe if I hold it like this. Okay, better. Some parts just didn't take, which indicates that I didn't clean the glass well enough, so there's some grease on it. Which you can clean with the paint itself actually, because it's like a powder, right? So in this case I'll just use a small cotton swab and I'll get rid of the paint I applied. And then I'll reapply it, and I use the paint that's already applied it on it to scrub it a bit. And what it is supposed to do is that if I do it again, then this time it should take, because there's no more grease on it, because I used all the paint that I applied to scrub it off. So you really need to make sure you clean it well though, because else it will leave, of course, traces of paint. That's something we don't want. Look, so much better. I think I even improved on the lines. So there you go, maybe it's a good thing to sometimes do something over. Like, learn from the first, do it better in the second part. There we go. Okay, so we have her hair, well, at least part of it. And now we are continuing with the face. Let me just clean this. Of course, there are more small parts of her hair, right? You can see, yeah, you can see it here. So, so those will need to be painted on as well. Okay, so now we have the situation. This glass is opaque, so I cannot paint on the rear side of these parts, which means I really need to paint on the front side. The same was with Wolverine's arms, and it is also his face, yeah. So this might take me a few tries. Let's see how things go. Yeah, I already noticed that I made her eye way too small. Okay, we're gonna do this one more time. Or even more than that. Let's find out. Okay, let's redo this. Okay. That's better. So this really might take a few tries because it's portraits are always the most, I think, the most demanding things you can do. So like they're great to try. But chances are you need to try a lot of times to make it work. There is so much attention going to the face, the eyes, the nose, just yeah. Sorry, it's just a lot of focus going on here. Like this is demanding all my attention. And I'm not sure if I am pleased with it or not. I like it stylized a bit. That's something I like a lot. I think I need to make a few adjustments to the left eye. Because can I zoom in? I can zoom in by holding it here in front of me. So what I like about this eye is that the iris is not touching the baseline. Here it is. So I need to, once it's dry, I need to open this one up a little bit, and then I think it might work. So I'm semi-pleased. But if we look at the bigger picture, with the gem, her big hair. A small part of more hair. Then I think this is gonna be something really nice. Yes. Alright. So this concludes this video. I'll make more adjustments and move forward. Doing all the lines, then we can fire up the kiln, which I still should show you. So I'll just pick up this camera right here and I'll show you where the kiln is. And then let me be back in maybe half a day or an entire day with another live stream in which we will apply the shadow parts. And then yeah, I think we're almost there. So looking at what we've painted and how many parts are already out of the total, then I think we've done 2/3 of this, adding the contour. So that's really great. So I'll just pick the camera up here so I can show you the kiln we're using. I was ever so fortunate to be able to purchase a quite large one. I guess this is one of the things that I was able to purchase that really gave me a feeling I was doing things right, like I was having success. It's a rather large one. It's a Rode, it's a German brand. I like the brand very much. Comes with a computer. You can just tap in the firing schedule. It can hold up to, I don't know, 10, 20 schedules. I only have 4 or 5 I really use. And then yeah, you put it in here. I used some fiber, some cloth in it, some firing, I don't know, filled, and that just stays. So I can fire it multiple times, and it's nice and soft. It gives a good smooth finish to the glass. So the surface is not really damaged by any surface it lies on. So that's just great. Yeah. So once the kiln is turned on, I think it takes up to 20 minutes before it reaches a temperature of 600 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what it is in Fahrenheit. I really need to understand that system as well. Side note, and in the future I hope to be able to purchase another one, but then a smaller one, because as you can see, we're not filling the entire space with the parts for Jean Grey. Only only a small part. So that's for future reference. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Alright, take care, bye bye.